just thanks again for the opportunity to give a little bit of VSCORE updates. There's nothing to disclose. So as you all know, SCORE is a turnkey curriculum for trainees, contains objectives and content, key textbooks, as well as references, videos, and practice questions, multiple choice questions, as well as more open-ended questions. There's a user-friendly smartphone interface, not meant to be a single study source. And not only have we seen success with it, but you can also follow the success of your physicians as well as resident champions. You get weekly didactics tied to the curriculum. And we've seen this as a successful foundation for general surgery, surgical oncology, ped surg, ACS, critical care. So now VSCORE is a curriculum that has been approved by the VSB. The content is the same as that for the VSite as well as the written boards. It's been an ongoing process that continually undergoes edits and modifying. The current editorial board is the 7 you see under the leadership of Chris, who we have put in countless hours trying to improve this and make sure it's ready for everybody. As mentioned, it's approved by the VSB and the content is dedicated to prep for the VSite and the boards. There's 129 modules that have been completed. From 2018 to 2020, you can see that it was a slow process to make sure that they were all edited and up to date. And at this current point, 100% of the modules are completed. We continually evaluate and modify as needed. Questions come up from people using VSCORE where we can edit at any time. And we're continually including further resources and videos. All of, as you'll see, I'll show, all of the modules are linked to Rutherford chapters as well as an atlas for any type of surgical techniques. So this would be your dashboard demonstrating the modules, textbooks, and videos. And then on the bottom right, you can see where you can run a report. This way you can evaluate your program, the trainees, how often they're using it, how often they're logged in, how many questions they've done, etc. The modules, there's 129 under the vascular surgery fellowship. It actually says 232. That's because of all the general surgery modules that are included within this to make sure it's all inclusive. Your overview will give you your learning objectives, the indications, contraindications, diagnosis, and treatment. This will be more of a bullet point and key topics that everybody needs to know. It's almost like a Cliff Notes version of the topic that is in of the week. When it comes to the conference prep, there's open-ended discussion questions that you and the trainees can go through, and as well as resources, as I mentioned, that are linked to Rutherford, as well as different atlases. It should be noted that when you do link to these, just have to have open your expert consult, and it'll take you directly to that chapter. In addition to this, there's a question bank. These are completely separate multiple choice questions. There's over 2,000 questions for general surgery, but just specifically vascular surgery, you have 590 multiple choice questions that are available at any time for your trainees. It's a yearly set curriculum. As you can see, it is outlined for you by week. This makes it very user-friendly. It makes it very easy for the faculty to set up your educational conference. It is a combination of both vascular and general surgery. So it does have those general surgery topics that we often see our integrated residents have the most trouble with when it comes to their VSite scores. Some of the advantages to this curriculum, it's set up for you. So it's very easy to set up for your faculty. It's very easy to set up your lectures weekly if that's what you have in place. The fellows will get through the entire curriculum yearly, and the residents can get through anywhere between 2 and 5 times, depending on how fast you decide to move through it. It includes important general surgery topics. As I previously mentioned, this is especially important for those integrated residents that are not going through a general surgery training program. It assures VSite and board preparation, as it has been vetted and edited to make sure that it is associated with both of those. The editorial board reviews and modifies this at least every 2 years. In addition to this, we finally have available what's called twists, or This Week in Score. So every week, a different curriculum, or excuse me, every week that it's set out to the curriculum, there's multiple choice questions that are going to be sent out to your trainees. There'll be 5 multiple choice questions a week that are given out. These are in addition to those 590 that I've already spoken about. This process has been very daunting. For all the modules, it has gone through multiple editing from the editorial board. We've each gone through it twice, and then those questions have all gone to Chris, who's gone through it a 3rd time to assure that it is a well-written question that is similar to what you would see either on a VSite or a written board exam. These are weekly multiple choice questions, again, for the trainees. There is a total of 645, 5 questions per module. So this is in addition to those other 590. So by joining VSCORE, your residents or fellows are getting over 1,000 questions available to them in preparation for their board exam. And then again, it is a set to an available curriculum that you can follow as you please. And additional resources, we have multiple videos that are being uploaded to associate with the certain modules. These are in addition to what the SVS is doing with their video library, and we'll make sure to link the two once that becomes available. The cost is $500 per program. It covers all training programs at a single institution. So that's 1 program director, a program coordinator, and 5 faculty accounts. In addition to that $500, it's then $175 per resident or fellow, and then $325 per additional faculty. One of the arguments that's been made in the past is, why can't we just use our SCORE account and then just pay the $175? That's not available, but in the grand scheme of things, it's $500 extra that you're paying for this for your entire program and for everybody to have availability. So really not that much in the grand scheme of things. We've spoken about this paper. I know it's come up yesterday, and just very briefly talking about vascular surgery education. The most important things is, I think, is only about 25% of program directors believe trainees are studying, 4 hours or more on a weekly basis. And only 16% use a standard curriculum, while 90% state they would use one if it's available. Well, we now have one available for everybody. We are in a great position to assist with this now. And from personal experience, I can tell you, we've been very happy at Stanford. We started using the fellowship curriculum back in 2019. It was an easy setup for faculty lectures in advance. Myself and one of our partners were able to go through the entire year basically and talk to the faculty and set up their lectures, as well as making sure those lectures are set up with trainees. The experience for the trainees has been very positive. They're at quick access to information when necessary. They've had very positive feedback in the bullet point process and reading through it every week, as well as the hyperlinks to all the Rutherford chapters. And it's been a very good resource for VSite prep. We don't have the current VSite scores, but everybody has been very satisfied with their preparation. And there's continued improvement in the modules. Every time we see something that we don't like, we go back to it and are continuing to edit. And it's been, again, a very positive experience for us out here. So I'm going to open this up to questions, as well as I know Chris is on the line to take any questions and comments.
Thanks, Mike. So that was great. We're still struggling. And welcome, Chris. Thank you for getting on. So, I think just want to make the comment that this is our curriculum, right? This is the APDVS approved curriculum. The curriculum committee worked with Chris and under Chris's leadership to help develop this. This is the curriculum that we recommend using. And there are challenges with everybody getting online. I know it's not 100% adopted at this point. Do you guys have some advice of how to better implement it, what we can do as PDs to really get engagement? And then there's a question. Question is now gone. There was a question by Dr. Caligara on, the conflict with VSAP. Should we have the residents be doing both? Is this a competitive curriculum? But perhaps he's had that question answered. So go ahead.
I'll answer Dr. Caligara's question. So VSAP is simply questions with answers. It's not a curriculum. It's completely different than the VSCORE curriculum. The VSCORE curriculum are topics that are given to us by the VSB. The content is mostly written by program directors. It provides objectives with the answers to those objectives, as well as structure for your educational conference. So the two are vastly different. I think, the reality is for our program at Hopkins, the way that we use it is in our weekly education conference. And basically, the trainees use VSAP questions pretty much right before the VSite just to prepare in that regard.
I think VSAP is also dedicated more towards the completed trainee, or those that are out in practice. I think those questions. I think we've done a really good job on the VSCORE site to assure that the questions are for all level, residents and trainees. I think you'll see a broader range of those compared to what you'll see, for example, on VSAP.
So there's a question from Dr. Jordan. Our members provide the content for VSCORE. Where do the subscription fees go? Does the APDVS get any money back? That's a no. So I guess who is VSCORE owned by? Where does the resources go towards? And I guess if we're paying for it, where does the money go?
So the money, VSCORE falls under SCORE, which falls under the American Board of Surgery. Simple as that. And so the pediatric surgery, interestingly, wrote their own textbook to take it away from Elsevier, because Elsevier was so expensive in terms of getting links to their chapters. That's one of the struggles that we had in the very beginning, and had to use the expert consult links rather than direct links to the Elsevier Rutherford chapters. But the reality is that it does take time. As editorial board members, we are not paid. This is all, just done on the side of our regular jobs. The money basically goes to maintain the site and the staff that helps us, take the content and move it into the web-based browsers and stuff. So it basically pays the staff.
Thank you. I think it's important that we evolve, and that I think we could look back to the days where there was just a textbook and you went through the table of contents, you read the textbook front and back. But I think the added content, the questions, the videos, the links to other things all make this a much more usable framework, and we really need to adopt it as our working curriculum. I thank you both.